Hello and welcome to Maple Flavored Yoga. My name is Andy and this is Dr. Claw. If you've made your way to this class, I would really appreciate it if you click the subscribe button so you don't miss any new classes that I update on Mondays. As well, feel free to give it a like or leave a comment below. I would love to hear from you. These simple actions help support me in continuing to create yoga content on this channel, and I really do appreciate it. Today's class is going to be all about warming up and moving our hips. Our hips can get really tight from sitting at a desk all day or if you're driving a lot. There's a lot of contributing factors, but it's really important to get these joints moving and to make sure that the large muscle groups that surround these joints are getting proper blood flow and stretching. So as always, we will come into this space. Just chill, doctor. We'll come into this space by closing our eyes and allowing ourselves to acknowledge whatever our current experience is. You can also tap into your breath here, inflating your belly on an inhale and gently pulling your belly button to your spine on an exhale so that we're utilizing all the lobes of our lungs during our breath. I would also like to extend my gratitude to the creators and cultivators of yoga, the people of South Asia who have shared this gift with us that we get to practice today. So if your eyes were closed, you may blink them open. And we're going to move into tabletop. So however you want to get there, take your time. And we'll start with some cat-cow. Inhaling, belly drops to the floor. Chin up. Exhale, we push away. Belly button to spine. Inhale up. Exhale, round. Follow your own breath here. Connecting our breath and our movement is a very important portion of our yoga practice. We'll do one more inhale. One more exhale. The next inhale will come to a neutral spine. We'll ground down through our hands, and if you'd like, you can tuck your left toes for some more stability. We're going to inhale our right leg up and just bring it out to the side, doing some hip circles, making this motion as big or as small as feels good for you. Just inviting movement into this hip joint. Hi, doctor. And we'll go the other way. Put that knee down and we'll inhale our left foot up. And again, these hip circles. If you'd like to put extra padding under your knee, go for it. Notice the difference from each side. And know that there's no need to change that. Whatever that is. And the other way. I find it interesting because a lot of the times the side that's tighter or stickier isn't the side that I would expect it to be. Last one, and we'll bring our knee down. You can walk your hands a bit forward here. We're going to just do some large hip circles. Here. This might feel a little awkward at first. That's okay. I think it's good to feel awkward or not like you're perfected in some pose. Because it's not perfection, I think we strive for too much perfection. And often we should just enjoy whatever the experience is offering us. And we'll go the other way. So if you ever feel silly in a yoga pose, just know that everyone else has felt silly in a yoga pose before. And it's good to have that. Try not to take yourself too seriously. All right, we'll come back to center. And we'll tuck our toes and push up into downward dog. We can pedal our feet here. Introducing that yummy oxygen-rich blood into these muscles. You can swing your hips from side to side as well. Offering this nice side stretch. And we'll come back to stillness for 3 breaths here. On your next inhale, we'll inhale our right leg up and we'll drop our heel to our glute or to the other side. Still really firmly pressing into both hands equally. Just allowing this side opening, this hip opening. We can bring that back down. Inhale our left leg up, we'll do that on the other side. Make sure you're still breathing into your belly here. And we'll bring that back down. From here, we will step our right foot forward. We'll drop our back knee, and we'll kind of come out of that, depending how far you stepped up. And we're going to tilt our pelvis forward until you feel that opening through the front of your left hip flexor and your quad. Just allowing this gentle opening. And when I say tilt, you don't have to, I don't want you curling through, just enough so that it's your tailbones pushing right to the floor. Nice long spine. You can bring our hands back to the floor. If you'd like, you can come into this low lunge. If it's available to you, you can bring your left foot up, point your toes to the sky, and you can either stay like this, adding this twist, or if you'd like to reach back and grab that foot, you can. You can also use a strap here as well. And maybe this is enough. If you'd like, you can also pull your foot towards your glute for more sensation. But be very careful and always listen to what your body is telling you. Breathing into this opening. It can be pretty intense, so be gentle with yourself. Exhale, we can release that. And while we're down like this, we'll slide our right foot out to the side of the mat, coming into a low lizard. You can keep your toes tucked or flat, whatever feels better for you. And if you'd like, you can just drop your knee out to the side, bringing your knife edge of your right foot to the floor, and just opening up your inner thigh and your groin area. Again, taking great care. It doesn't have to come out really far. Just adding an additional stretch really getting into our hip joints here. Slowly put our foot back to the mat. We'll tuck our back toes, press in, lifting our knee off the mat, and we'll step back into plank and push back into downward facing dog. 3 breaths. On our next inhale, we'll inhale our left foot up. We'll step that forward, and then we'll come up again into this pose here. Nice tall spine, tilting our pelvis so that our tailbone's pointing towards the floor, opening up this hip flexor into our right side, our right quad muscle here. You can bring our hands down to the mat. If you'd like to slide your right foot forward a little bit, you can. We'll lift our back foot up, and if you'd like, you can stay here. If you'd like, you can also twist and reach back, trying to grab that foot. And as I said before, you can use a strap here or a towel, scarf, whatever. Really breathing into this opening. Hi. We can release that down. And again, we'll bring our hands to the mat, bringing our left foot out towards the side. And you can leave your back foot lifted or tucked, going onto the knife edge of the foot and just letting that knee drop open to get into the groin and the inner thigh. Bring that back to midline, pressing into the mat, back into plank. We'll knees, chest, chin here. Inhale up to cobra or upward facing dog. If that feels better for you, push back into downward facing dog. And then we'll come onto our knees and we will take a seat. From here, we are going to bring our right foot forward again. And then we'll kind of do an inhale, exhale, back and forth flow to open up our hips a bit more. So inhale, our heart draws forward. Exhale, we pull back, front toes to the sky. Bow over the front leg or intend your heart to the toes. Inhale, we glide forward. Exhale, we glide back. Inhale, forward. Exhale, back. Inhale, forward. Exhale, back, and we'll hold here for 3 breaths. Inhale, forward. There you go. We'll switch our legs. We'll bring our left foot forward. So inhale, your collarbones are shining forward, heart's leading. Exhale, we glide back, toes come to the sky. Inhale, we'll glide forward. Exhale, we'll come back, and you can always move your hands back and forth as well. Inhale, forward. Hey Tucker, how you doing? Exhale, back. Oh, thank Thank you. Inhale forward. You gonna do yoga too? Exhale back. Inhale forward. And lay down. Okay? Exhale back. And we'll hold for 3 breaths here. Alright. So we'll come forward. And we'll bring our knees back and come to seated for a minute. We're going to come into fire log pose here. So we'll start with our left foot forward, and then we want to stack our right foot. I'll show you the front way. Stack our right shin as much as we can on top of the other. This gets really into our glutes and these really large muscles. So if you find that you're having a lot of space between your legs and the floor, you can grab a block or a blanket, bolster, anything like that to help support your legs in this pose, to allow your body to slowly open up at its own pace. So make any modifications that you require. So you can stay in the pose like this, or if you'd like, you can come forward onto your hands or your forearms, and we'll just take a few breaths in this pose to allow that opening. We'll do 5. Last one. And slowly make your way back to seated, and we will switch sides. So whatever you had on the bottom will now be on the top, and vice versa. And again, you can stay seated, or if you'd like, you can bring your body forward. Making sure that you still have good connection with your sit bones and the mat, that's important. And then just drop into this pose, inhaling to create space, exhaling to clear away any energy that you no longer require. One more breath. Exhale, sink into any space that's available. The next inhale, we will rise. So from here, our next pose we're going to be moving into is pigeon pose. We're going to bring our right shin to the front of our mat, trying to get it as parallel as possible, and then we will slowly toe our back leg straight, and our toes should be flat on the floor. If you feel that you're really having to push out to the side, you can definitely use some blocks or bolsters or pillows or anything like that, because we want to keep our hips nice and square to the front of the mat. So if this is feeling really uncomfortable for your knee, there is another variation where some people will have their toes pointed at a 45-degree angle. So you can try both of those. There are 2 different variances in the posture. So try them out, and obviously be very careful if you have any previous knee injuries. So coming into your pigeon pose, take your time. You can stay like this, or if you'd like, you can come down onto your forearms, or you can bring your head right to the floor. I find in each of these variations, I feel a different sensation in my body for all of them. So give them all a try. I will hold here for 3 breaths. Slowly coming out of that, we can tuck our back toes. Pushing into the mat, we'll come back into plank and we'll switch out our legs. So we'll bring our left leg forward, bringing it parallel to the front of our mat. Right leg is extended behind with toes. The top of our foot is flat on the floor. Again, there is that variation that you can bring your foot pointed at a 45-degree angle if that feels better in your body. But always take lots of time to get into these poses. There's no rush. Foot is flexed. And again, if you're feeling that you're really coming out of the pose like this, or you're really high off the ground, you can always support underneath that leg with pillows or blankets, all those good things. Bolsters. So inhale and exhale here. Don't forget your breath. You can stay upright or move into any of those other variations that we were talking about. 3 breaths. Inhale up, tuck our back toes, and we'll come back onto our knees. Since our hips are nice and open, I would like us to try and get into Hanuman or splits pose if you're ready. You can do half Hanuman like that flow we were doing earlier, where your back knee is bent and you're bending forward over your leg. So we can start here. But if you'd like to go a bit further, again, you can just toe your foot back and slide your heel forward, depending how sticky your mat is. My mat's quite sticky. Back toes should be pointed. And again, you can always use any props. Actually, I'll use my bolster. I really like to use a bolster or a blanket here underneath my front leg, because it really just allows me to get into the pose and sink into the prop a bit. And again, it doesn't matter how far down you come. Our hips should still be pointing somewhat forward. Again, we don't want to be really off to the side. You can push into the mat, slide your front leg closer to your body. Move any props that you had, and we'll switch out our legs. We'll do that on the other side. So bringing your left foot forward. I'm going to get this prop in place here. Not really sure what's my left side will be like, so I will walk my back foot back, slide my front foot forward. You've got to love a sticky mat, but sometimes it's difficult for poses like this. So you can also go off to the side and use a towel under your foot or something to help slide your foot. And then sink in as much as possible, always having the option of doing that half Hanuman as well. Exhale, we'll push into the mat, bringing our front foot forward, or front foot closer to you. And our final big pose before we get into our Shavasana twist and all that stuff is we're gonna come into frog pose. This is another pretty intense posture. So we're going to bring our knees out as wide as is somewhat comfortable. Our ankles are below our knees, our feet are flexed, and you can stay up on your hands like this. You can kind of sit back and allow that opening of the inner thigh. This alone is a very intense stretch. This is really good for me when I have lower back discomfort. This stretch has really done wonders for me. If you'd like, you can also come down onto your forearms. Hi. Oh, thank you. You want to do yoga? What are you doing? Okay, come here. Come here. Okay. Here, sit. Gotta sit down. Gotta sit. Remember to breathe into your belly. You're fine. Okay, so we'll slowly come out of this. To come out of this, I slide my chest forward and I usually come right onto my belly, and then I can straighten my legs and slowly bring them back to midline. I always have a lot of saturation with this. And then I windshield wiper my legs from side to side just to move that energy that we found. Here we go. You can come back to seated. Hi, what are you doing? We'll bring our legs out front. We'll keep our left leg extended. We'll bring our right leg across. You can either hug your right leg with your left arm, or you can inhale your arm up and come into this twist. It's really good for neutralizing poses, digesting the things we found during this class. And it also closes up some of that energy that we've opened, some of those chakra centers that we've opened. Breathing into our bellies. Exhale, we can release. Switching sides. So hug your leg or inhale your arm up. Exhale, we will twist. Release that. We'll roll slowly onto our backs and we'll give ourselves a great big hug. You can rock from side to side if that feels good. We'll come into our Shavasana, palms facing up. Legs are relaxed. Spacious neck. Allow yourself to become a puddle. Allowing your tongue to drop away from the backs of your teeth. And the spaces behind your eyes become relaxed. And your brow spreads wide. If you have more time, you can pause the video here and have a longer Shavasana, which I highly suggest that you do. But if you're feeling like you're ready, you can introduce some movement back into your fingers and your toes. Give yourself a great big stretch like you do in the morning. And one at a time, you can bring your knees to your chest and give yourself a great big hug once again. And then rolling to whichever side feels best. Taking a moment there to collect yourself. And then when you feel ready, you can make your way back to seated. Once you find your seat, you can close your eyes once again, just to once again observe what your experience is. And bring your hands to heart center, bowing your head. Give yourself thanks for doing something that is very healthy and beneficial to your mind, body, and soul, taking this class or any yoga class, or any time that you spend doing something that is good for you. Give yourself some credit for showing up. And know that wherever this life takes you, that you are seen, you are loved, you are divine, and I appreciate you so much for allowing me to assist in your yoga practice. Take care.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Maple Flavor Yoga.